How's it going, guys? If anybody's wondering what that is, if they don't know, that's a welding blanket. I left it up there since I'm welding. It's like 12 feet by 12 feet, so it will go to the end if I move it over. Right now, it's just a barrier. We started sanding. I'm doing the rough 220 right across. Just roughing it in with the electric DA and not firing up the air one for this. I find this works better for something like this. It's less noisy. You don't gotta wear out your compressor. You don't gotta deal with moisture. You don't gotta deal with a lot of stuff. It's quicker. Problem is I only have 2 pads, and I'm pretty much done with the second one. So I just wanted to roll through it quick, the areas I can get to, and you could see the difference of what's sanded and what's not sanded. At least I can. And then come back. Some areas I'm going to strip completely. Some areas are just getting sanded down and feathered. And they'll both turn out to be the same. I just don't want to try and feather in what we did over here. So this has to be completed. All this red will be gone in here, without a doubt. And we'll come in here and do that by hand. We still have to pop off the little striker. And obviously all in here has to be done by hand. But we got the brunt of it. You can see the different color from where it's sanded to where it's not sanded. What I do want to show you real quick, here's a little tip. Okay, when they paint this stuff, there's runs in it. Okay, you could see where the runs were. If you look right here, that's obvious. Okay, but they're smooth now. Okay, here they're not. There's still lumps because I haven't sanded in there. Okay, you drip like 8-10 times right here at the lumps. Okay, does that matter? Well, it depends what you're going for. Are people actually going to see that? They're going to be looking down on the hood this way. Are they going to see that? Probably not. But you're this far into it. What's another 5-10 minutes on the whole entire hood to go over stupid things like this? Make sure this edge has absolutely no chips on it. You've sanded them all out, including this edge, even though these edges have been prepped by Junior and stripped down, if you remember. There's a little spot weld right here that Junior had put stuff on there and never finished sanding it. That's what that glob was on the side. He had filled in all the spot welds on the side of the hood. And he didn't sand them on. I thought it was seam seal. So I hit it real quick to see what it was. 2 coats of epoxy on this, 3 good coats of high build, 1 quick sanding, and this thing will be nice. Most people don't do it that good, unless you're going for a full restoration and you brought it to a really reputable shop, and the paint itself is going to cost you 15 grand or better. Forget about the body work. Then they'll do work like that. Am I stripping the whole entire hood thing down? No. I can't get all this paint off. I would be in here with little tiny tools, and by the time I'm done, I would have deep sand and scratches in all little areas, and every one of those would show off. This is feathering right out with the 220. 220, not going to go any coarser or any finer than that, because I want the epoxy to be able to bite. But it's going to get to the point now where I'm going to go get a couple more discs. I'm out of discs. We'll spend maybe another half hour out here on this with the DA, and then the rest will be hand sanded. Probably a couple hours worth of hand sanding to come in here and get all the areas that you're gonna see, in your face. I want to make sure everything is cleaned up on those holes for the molding. Those holes are going to be sealed after I put the molding on and the car's done. I'm probably going to put a dot of butyl tape on every one of those. You're going to have to really look behind the hood to see them, but just to seal them up. The fronts around the pinholes, for argument's sake, if this is the pinhole here and there's the lower part, here's the upper part, there will be butyl tape around it, like in a half U, so when I put the molding on and the water runs behind it, it goes around the hole and it doesn't go down into the hood. Try and make this hood last as long as it has to. What's challenging about painting a hood? This hood It's definitely not the worst. There are some things that are going to be challenging, but it's not the worst. Only that it becomes the worst the more of these you have, where you have to get under the lip, and this is flared up. Well, this is flared up. So if you don't get paint into there, you're going to see that rough, ugly line when you open the hood, and it's in your face. Now, if we put the pad on here, that'll eliminate 2 out of 3 of those. I'm not prepping this to put the pad on it. I'm prepping this to paint it. That's also something I was taught when I was younger. I was doing a bathroom and I was spackling it, and I was like, okay, we could blow through this wallpaper in it. And the person said, don't spackle the wallpaper. Spackle it as if you paint it. Then you can wallpaper it. And they're right. It's another one of those stupid life lessons that takes you a couple extra minutes. I know those extra minutes add up to a lot of time, but just think of all the time you're going to be sitting at a cruise night with the chair in front of this thing, bullshitting with your friends and making new friends, and you're going to be sitting there looking and you're going to be like, crap, why didn't I sand that hood? Or crap, why didn't I sand the radiator support? I'll tell you what people look at. If you want a car that's crisp and clean, doesn't have to be perfect, what they're going to look at when they judge your car. I'll tell you exactly what they look at. They look for the edges of like a hood. Okay, they look for the edges where the fender goes into the car. They look at the core support, radiator support. They look at the edge of that where the fender meets it. Okay, they look at the firewall deep in where it meets like the bottom. Okay, and they look for anywhere where a body panel slips under another body panel, and they look for chips that are painted over, or crud that was left there and painted over, and you got that roughness. Okay, they on a car with a frame, they look down. You'll see them look down the engine compartment. You wonder what they're looking at. They're not looking at the engine. They're looking past the engine and they're looking at the frame rail, and they want to see what the frame rail looks like, because if the couple of feet of the frame rail they see, the 1.5 foot, looks mint, they're going to assume that the rest of it looks just like it. If that looks like shit, they know all the suspension bushings look like crap, and they know the frame looks like crap, and they know the floor pan looks like crap. That's what they're looking at. And it's the tiny little things, the little tiny chips. And trust me, I'm not doing that for show. I'm doing it because I take a little bit of pride. I do the best I can, and then it falls where it lands. It lands where it falls. Okay? If I don't do the best I can, it's going to fall even lower. But that's the stuff from all the shows that we were at over the years. That's what they're looking at with those judge sheets. Yeah, they're also looking at, they're looking at that dent. They're looking, is the stereo upgraded? Are the wheels upgraded? Is the paint upgraded? Does it have pinstriping? How much chrome does it have? And, they're checking all that crap off too. But the overall is where all the points are. And the overall, the difference between a second and first place is those tiny little chips. It was also explained to me once that most cars and trucks start out as a basic job, and then when they're mostly through it, that's when they say, you know what, I want to make this into something nice. By that time, they've already painted over all the junk. So, and that's what separates a big dollar car from a not big dollar car. Nothing else. It isn't that $10,000 motor you bought that you put in there and the silicone sticking out of the valve cover. They look at that. It's neatness. They're looking for neatness. And when we got this thing somewhere and we got this hood open, I want Junior to stand there proud, which he's gonna anyway, but I want him to stand there proud and say, we did this. This is pretty cool. Because I'll be truthful with you, being an AMC guy as long as I am, and some of the AMC guys can agree with me, the body isn't always what lures them over. They see the body, they say, wow, I haven't seen one of these in a while, so they're going to walk over. So they're going to walk over to the car, it's red, white, and blue. They want to see what's under the hood. Because they're going with their, unless they've been around a while and they're not Chevy snobs or Ford snobs or Mopar snobs, they're looking to look under the hood and just see a 6-cylinder sitting there. Their Ford motor that they say is in there, you know, the Ford 390 and, you know, and whatever, all the bullshit that they say. They want to see, and this sounds messed up, they want to see what slaughtered the Hemis in '69. And it doesn't matter if it's in this car or the other car. That's the engine that did it. It wasn't the most powerful, but it was light. So that's what they're looking at. They want to look in there. They don't realize that half the parts in the car are rare. They don't realize that every part you put in the car you had to recondition. They don't know. They just know that the Camaro next to it has shiny bumpers on it. That's all they know. You know what I mean? They don't know that your bumper cost you $1,000 and that one cost you $169. They don't know any of that. But they hold you to that level. They're looking at the overall picture and the wow factor. And I don't want this car to be, holy crap, look at that thing. Because I think that's what it's going to start out as until they walk up to it. And then they're going to realize that there was some care and effort put into the car. That's what I want. So, I said it before, I'll say it again, this is the last car I'm building in this town, and this is the town I've been in my whole life. Not the same house, but the same town. So, it's kind of odd that it's a station wagon. It's kind of odd that it's not a big block Chevy. So, with that said, guys, I've rambled and gabbed and talked and crapped enough. Just remember, go over your edges. I went over this one. Because down here you don't see it when you close the hood. You have no idea. Because this edge is hard to really bend. So when you close the hood, wow, that looks mint. But when you open the hood, you look down, and the bottom edge of the hood has a wave in it or a lump in it because somebody dropped it. Take 2 seconds out. Grab a pair of pliers and sit there and work the edge. And that'll get you the results you're looking for. And my only last piece of advice is, if you go into it saying, it's only a driver, guess what? That's exactly what it's going to look like. And if you're good with that, that's fine. I have plenty of drivers. If you're looking for something a little better, then you got to put the effort in. Am I a body guy? No. So I just do my best. Okay, guys, we're out of here. We got, like I said, more sanding to do. I'm out of paper. It's late tonight. The day is over. If anybody that saw my video yesterday with the things I bought, I already got that tin cover for the snowblower. Yeah, it cost me a whopping $5. So, different color, but who gives a shit? I just want it back on there. Keep the snow out of there. We plan on using that thing till no end. And that's it. And thanks, Road King. I was hoping you'd watch it and see the files. When I saw that box, I thought of you. I looked in the files. I said, Road King. I love files myself. The problem is I just don't have a lot of files. And as of right this second, I don't seem to have any files. I don't know where I laid them. But I actually have one set of files. It's a rat tail, a flat one, and then a triangular one. And they were all made by Snap-on. The set was given to me by somebody. And that's what I use. That's all I have. So now I got plenty of files. Okay, guys, we are out of here. Look forward to seeing something coming out of the gun soon. I gotta find the guns.